Force has penetrated the shield and landed on Endor.
This is where the fun begins.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
This is Rebel Force Radio.
Your source for the Force.
Star Wars news and commentary.
With Jason Swank and Jimmy Mack.
I've seen Star Wars 500 times.
Star Wars #1!
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
Now it's time for Rebel Force Radio.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good feedback about our shot-by-shot, frame-by-frame analysis of the Ahsoka Season 2 trailer, which, by the way, is now in its entirety on YouTube, the full video of that analysis. So if you only listen to the podcast, check it out. Literally see what you missed. But we're back with another one this week. We are going to be looking at that first look, that sneak peek of Star Wars Starfighter that was shown at D23. Of course, it wasn't officially released, but we have our spies everywhere. Our Bothan spies are legion, and they have provided a reasonably good copy of that sneak peek, and we're going to be breaking that down. But we will not be doing it alone. No, we have with us in the cantina, and well, for as long as we can keep him, the incredible Ernest Cline. We call him Ernie. You know, we've known him a long time, but he's a screenwriter. He's the author of Ready Player One, Ready Player Two, Armada. He's New York Times best-selling author and all-around great guy and one of the best of us, geeks. And I say that in with a lot of affection. I think that's how Ernie would describe himself proudly. And so going to be great to catch up with him. Of course, he's the creator of Fanboys, not just one of the co-writers of the script, but it was his idea. So he's, in a lot of ways, the ultimate fanboy. So he's going to be joining us, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we want to get to that in short order because there's much to get through in catching up with Ernest Cline. But before we do, introductions order. If you are new to Rebel Force Radio, my name is Jason, and with me, as always, my good friend and yours from Chicago, Jimmy Mack.
Hey, Jason. Hey, Star Wars fans. Man, am I excited for tonight. I mean, to have a friend who is geek royalty such as Ernest Cline is, but he never reminds you of that, He's just always one of the guys, one of the geeks, Ernie, just like us. He's Ernie. He is, and he always will be Ernie. 100% Ernie. And we always have a great time with him. We hung out with him in Texas earlier in the month at Rebel Scum Con, and we hung out and partied with Ernie and the Fanboys cast, and other luminaries were amongst us, including the great Harry Knowles from Ain't It Cool website fame.
Talk about geek royalty.
He's like, the grandfather of geeks.
The geek
at least
father.
Organized geek reporting, yes. Internet reporting. I mean,
well, the first one that was taken seriously, for sure.
Oh, he definitely was on a national scale. Didn't really talk to him too much at the party, but when he was leaving, I had to give him knucks and say, respect and props, sir.
Yeah.
Because, in many ways, he kind of trailblazed the path for guys like us to pop up on your internet feed and fill your head with conversations of
Absolutely.
The wars.
Yeah.
So, very much looking forward to catching up with Ernie and letting you guys hear the conversation this time. Because when we got caught up with Ernie earlier in the month, you didn't hear that conversation. Now you're going to actually hear the conversation. I hope we get to half the things I want to talk to Ernie about. So there's a lot to do, a lot to talk about, and a lot of memories to share with everybody listening in the RFR audience. So let's not waste any more time. I'm thirsty. Let's get into that cantina and hang out with Ernie Cline.
Here we go.
Star Wars Cantina.
Where are you going, Master?
For a drink. Sorry about the mess.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
Ernie, welcome back to Rebel Force Radio. It has been a while, and there's been a lot happen in Star Wars, I can tell you that.
A lot has. Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to catch up with you on the show. We caught up in person.
Yes, we did.
Ago, but we didn't have. There was so much catching up to do with everyone. So many old friends for you guys and for me. We didn't have a lot of time to catch up with each other.
There were multiple levels of reunion going on. I mean, there was. First of all, thank you very much for thinking of Jim and myself when it came to your appearance in the Fanboys reunion at Rebel Scum Con. I mean, you were the guy that reached out. The show didn't reach out. Kyle didn't even reach out, for crying out loud. You reached out.
I was like, well, are Jimmy and Jason coming? What's? I asked the convention, and they said they reached out to you guys last year, and it didn't work out. And I said, well, I'm reaching out to him. So I'm so glad. Because you guys and Harry Knowles, I was like, you got Harry beforehand was a huge help in getting the movie noticed and made, and then you guys after the fact in helping us defeat Darth Weinstein. So I felt like all the people who are an essential part of the Fanboys story had to be there just to geek out and catch up. And I appreciate you guys making time to come out. It was worth it, though. You guys got that great interview with Bryce that I listened to.
Yeah,
Alice
we did.
Howard.
Yeah, that was.
She's amazing. She's such a cool lady. Seems like
But it was also really great to see this reunion, and this is something we knew that it was special, and maybe something that may never happen again. I don't know. I hope not. I actually, there's been talk about these characters and these actors, and this came up during the panel, Ernie, and we might as well just jump right into it and ask, because you've had an idea in your mind, from what I understand, for where these characters from Fanboys might be now and how they might be reacting to this, this kind of a crazy fandom that we live in these days.
Well, it would be interesting. Fanboys was kind of a unique. It was BD, right? It was before Disney. It was a different era, mm-hmm. and it was this era when one guy could say, "Yes, sure, go ahead, you can do that." And George said that about Fanboys. He may have regretted it once at some point. Once the Darth Weinstein stuff happened, because he, doesn't like drama, but when it was just Fanboys, when it was just a movie celebrating Star Wars fans, and that's why I'm proud of it. Even the things that went wrong and the things that are in the movie that I don't love, but I'm proud of it. It's still it's the first and only movie that celebrates Star Wars fandom and what it means to be a Star Wars fan. And you guys embody the spirit of that. So it was such an awesome panel. But anyhow, we're talking about a sequel. And I think Kyle has been thinking about that nonstop, and he and Adam had talked about pitching it at some point as a television series. You would have to get the rights back, which I believe are held by Lionsgate, and then you would have to figure out a way to do it without. I don't know if the permission that we got to use the Star Wars license with Fanboys would be grandfathered into a sequel. I don't know what the.
Well, I mean, come on.
Right, sorry?
The fans took down Darth Weinstein. I mean, do you think?
Yes.
Do you really think the mouse wants to get in the way of the fans getting their Fanboys that they want?
I think it's an unstoppable. But occasionally, the mouse has squared off against Star Wars fans, and usually the mouse gets its way. But oh man, I love that. I love that photo. That was one of the videos that we watched. Hanging out was that.
The photo shoot.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, Ernie, it was such a pleasure to sit there and watch those videos with guys from the cast there, with you there, with Kyle there, because you guys were providing this real-time commentary track that was very exclusive. You had to be
surreal.
there. It was surreal. It
is
sure
a unique
was.
moment in Star Wars history. That I set in motion at my keyboard this thing, and then if I hadn't met Matt Peninciaro, I was going to show you guys. I had actually talking about Fanboys. I had some treasures that I dug out when I was digging out this microphone. I found some stuff. So when Harry Knowles, I told this story at the panel, but Harry Knowles, I was going to try to make it as my kind of Clerks, a cheap little movie myself, just dialogue driven. I was really inspired by Clerks and what Kevin Smith had done, and also Sam Raimi with Evil Dead. Whenever a filmmaker would make their first movie as a small little contained film in one location that they could control or they had access to. And I thought the van that these fanboys take this road trip on could be the location that I could control, and I could just film them in the van and in different locations, and it would be primarily this dialogue driven thing. And but I had the idea to have Harry Knowles play himself and give them information to break into Skywalker Ranch. And he, when he read the script, he really connected. Harry is a geek through and through, and I remember when I first time I went over to Harry's house, his room's covered in film posters and film memorabilia and props from movies, but above his bed was original Drew Struzan Empire Strikes Back poster. And I'm like, what's that? He's like, I have that there. That's just the first thing I want to think about every day when I wake up. Star Wars. I'm like, I love this. I love this redheaded nerd from Texas. Harry and I really connected. That guy loves movies through and through, but loves Star Wars above all. And he loved my script and wrote this, just kind of poured out of him this long review of his own love of Star Wars and why this script should get made. And then Matt Peninciaro read that. Everybody in Hollywood. That was back when Ain't It Cool News was one of the sites, along with Variety, that everybody in Hollywood. Harry wielded immense power for a while there, even before like Roger Ebert had him on as like a co-host. After Gene Siskel died, Harry co-hosted with Roger like 3 or 4 times. It was amazing. So that sent ripples through Hollywood, made everybody aware of this idea that I had. My elevator pitch kind of got, pumped up by Harry and spread across Hollywood, and it became a real project, even though I had no money and all I had bought was a van. And I'd saved up I think about 20 grand that I was going to use to try to make this movie, and hired local actors. And I borrowed a digital camera and I filmed some test footage, which I will show you guys someday. I have this test footage, but it was enough to make me say, oh man, this is going to be awful. I don't know any, these are not professional actors. I've never directed actors. I don't know anything about lighting or makeup. It's going to look like Blair Witch Project, and it's not going to be as good as my script. And now, because of Harry, my script had been noticed. And then Matt Peninciaro. So then the other thing happened. I decided not to try to make it myself. And then episode 1 came out, and that took the wind out of my sails. I was like, who is going to drag their dying friend to see Jar Jar step in poodoo? I've since grown to love episode 1 and see
that is definitely a topic that we want to talk about, because we had a chance, in addition to the great Fanboys behind the scenes stuff, you threw in the DVD of Revenge of the Sith, which I definitely want to talk prequels a little bit with you, but as you were promising let me finish
this story.
Oh, look at that.
So he's got the Kenner X-Wing.
1978 X-Wing.
So this was my X-Wing from when I was a kid.
That's your childhood X-Wing. That's not one of those rebought ones. Yeah.
So the X's, do the wings still open and everything?
No, the wings, no. The wings are glued. I think the wings, no. I had to glue the wings because it's all the plastic's brittle.
Yeah,
it doesn't light up.
I had to glue mine missing. Also.
I bought aftermarket 3D printed laser cannons for it, but they keep falling off. But anyway, the story, they fell off during the move. But the story is Matt Peninciaro, when he flew to Austin to meet me and optioned the script for Fanboys, he brought this when we signed the contract. He's like, I wanted to give this to you as a, show of
X-Wing
solidarity
Luke.
that we're
like
gonna,
in good faith.
yeah.
Like I'm one of you.
We're gonna get this movie made, and so I took it home and put it in my X-Wing, and he's been there all these years, all through the making of Fanboys, and so
I think you guys created something new. You know, there's the old handshake agreement. I think we've got like the Star Wars action figure, agreement.
Yes, and then so also I have, when the movie got made, I think I told this story as well. My lunchbox when I was a kid that I carried through kindergarten. And first grade.
That's the one. The thermos, the metal one, New Hope.
Oh,
you're opening it up. I could smell the PB&J from here.
And the thermos.
My gosh. The thermos has survived. It's got rust on it a little bit.
Yeah.
But the thermos has survived. But anyhow,
That's
this
just
was my lunchbox, and I brought this to the set along with that X-Wing and my land speeder, my original Kenner land speeder, and I gave them to Joe Arnold, the property master, the guy who was dressing all the sets. And I said, Joe, I'm Ernie. I'm one of the writers. I brought all my Star Wars toys. Could you sneak them into the movie? And he's like, hell yeah, man. I've been doing that with my Star Wars toys. I had my mom send all of them here, and I've been doing it. You're going to see my toys all through this movie. So when the guys go to Linus's bedroom to talk him into going on the road trip, and Hutch is humping Linus's leg for an extended period.
Yes.
When he's like, sorry, I was getting into that. That's when you can see my lunchbox on the table in Linus's room.
I love it.
So it becomes along with my land speeder. My lunchbox and my land speeder. I pointed out on the commentary track of the DVD, and Fogler was giving me shit. He's like, dude, shut up about the lunchbox. I'm like, Fogler, this is my lunchbox. So they carried through kindergarten and first grade.
Yes.
Let me talk about it. Let me talk about it on the commentary.
How many of us carried those lunchboxes and only you had it featured in a film that you wrote about being a Star Wars fan. Now, I do want to ask about, that's a prop that you didn't have to buy on eBay, but we heard that you have been checking out eBay for some Fanboys film props.
Right after the movie, before the movie even got released. So we shot it in 2007. It sat in the can for 2 years while Darth Weinstein tinkered with it and reshot it, and all that stuff was going on. It didn't come out till February of 2009, I believe. So, but during 2008, I saw props from the movie start to show up on eBay. So, and nobody knew what they were because Fanboys hadn't come out yet, but I knew what it was. And I found the Rush tape case, which you guys saw, which I brought to the Rebel Scum Con. Now lives in the Mandalorian, which seems fitting. Dude, that was a moment when I popped the hood of the Mandalorian, and Sam Huntington and Chris Marquette were there and took the tape case out. Oh yes. It was, I was like, wow, this is really happening. And then there's the replica of Bucephalus there. It made me so happy. But, and also my friend Russell Walks, I got to give him a shout out. He was there and he designed the wrap for the Mandalorian. I had this vision when I started seeing trailers and for the Mandalorian and Grogu film, and I saw the new paint job on the new Razor Crest that he gets, and Adam Savage did a tour of the set and I got a really good look at the model. And I'm like, I realized the Razor Crest, is stainless steel like the DeLorean, and so if I could mimic that paint job, it would make the Mandalorian complete. But I couldn't make it work myself. I bought a Razor Crest model kit, and I had the decals, and I was messing with them in Photoshop, and it just looked like garbage. So I contacted my friend Russell Walks, who's done a bunch of official Star Wars artwork for Lucasfilm, and I asked him to help me. And in like 2 days, he's like, "Dude, that's awesome!" And in 2 days, he created this, and it was his idea. He added the Grogu's shield as hubcaps to the hubcaps, and then he 3D printed those so we could add those to the show. And then he also figured out how to add the Mandalorian helmet into the hood. You can kind of see it head on. You can kind of see that.
Yeah. Look at, gosh, I did not notice that until you just pointed it out.
It's an Easter egg. Another Easter egg. So
very cool.
Perfect. I was telling you guys, I'm going for the coolest Star Wars car in history, and I think I've got Obi-Shawn beat. I think Obi-Shawn was the previous. I would always see him at conventions. I appreciate his Toyota Celica or whatever.
Yeah, but a Toyota Celica is not exactly a DeLorean. I mean, you're always going to have the edge.
Exactly. This was the Ready Player One grand prize DeLorean that I gave away in the contest for the Ready Player One paperback. There was an Easter egg hidden in the book, and if you won all 3 video game challenges, a guy set a world record on Joust for the Atari 2600, and he won this car. And I gave it to him on G4 TV back when that was a thing. And he owned it. He owned it for like 3 or 4 years, but he didn't have a garage to keep it in, and he has like 4 kids, and it's a 2-seat car, and it's not very practical. So he's like, I'm going to sell it, and do you want to buy it back? And I had driven this car across the country on my paperback tour, and I had emotional attachment. It's the Ready Player One, the grand prize DeLorean. So I bought it back from him, which he regretted. He ended up buying another DeLorean later because he missed this DeLorean.
Well, once you go DeLorean, you don't go back, right?
Yeah.
Once he had a taste, you gave him a taste, and then you took it away.
It's like having a superhero. I realize it's like having a superhero outfit in the closet that you never put on, except once in a while because it's a pain in the ass because everybody would notice it, But when when you're in the right mood, this is so much fun to drive around on May the 4th. Oh my God, to spread the Star Wars love. I had so much fun driving this around. And that was a blast driving up to Rebel Skunk. I had it in Austin, and I was going to try to drive the car itself up. But it creates a field of unsafe driving around it because everybody's trying to take a photo. Get your phone out.
While they're driving, of course.
I've seen people drive right off the road and into the curb, and it has magic power. So I got a U-Haul. I also wasn't sure the instrument cluster would go crazy sometimes, the RPMs, and I was like, oh, that's not good. I don't know. And you don't want to break down. I've had it happen. You don't want to be broken down in a DeLorean because everybody's slowing down to look, but nobody's stopping to help.
Right, yeah.
And it's the worst.
It's like, screw that guy. He can afford a DeLorean. I'm sure he'll be okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Next time you take it out, I got shotgun. I'm calling it right now. I want to hop in that thing and see all sort of traffic incidences happen surrounding it.
It's so uncomfortable. But it's so much fun. Brings
Ernie,
me so much joy.
Something that really fascinated me, and I guess I never really realized it, was the amount of time you actually physically spent on the set of Fanboys as it was being shot. Typically, I don't think it's traditional for the screenwriter or the guy who came up with the story to be a constant presence on the set, but there you were. And in addition to that, you also were involved in the post-production, going to mixing sessions at Skywalker Ranch and things like that. And you told us you smuggled some contraband into Skywalker Ranch, and it's probably something
out of Skywalker Ranch.
No, into. Oh, what did you take? He took. It's like the call sheet. The call sheet for the mixing.
This is all the extensions. Do you want Ben Burt's extension number? Do you want?
He's got the directory when it was still just on paper.
Yeah, let's call Ben.
Check it out.
We're gonna call Ben.
Here's the extension for all the different mix stages: the Akira Kurosawa stage, the William Wyler stage, David Lean, Stanley Kubrick, Elia Kazan, Orson Welles. Got all the extensions. Skywalker Company Store.
Yeah, just
extension 2-1603.
Ask for Eileen.
Like some of the stuff that maybe Harry Knowles would have provided to the Fanboys themselves. Oh, and the
signatures.
Signatures of
Fanboys' final sound mix crew. And I can't really I see Kyle Newman's signature there.
Yeah, Kyle down there. But these are like sheets that we had for laying down soundtrack. But dude, that was, you guys got to go. It's magical.
Sure.
You want to save
Is that the one with the one with the map on the other side?
Do you guys save the menu?
Yeah.
Save the
Even
menu.
save the menu. menu. Wow, look at you. I thought I was.
You didn't save the menu, Jimmy? Did you eat?
Yeah, I eat there. I've had meals there many times, but I never thought to steal the menu.
Do you know what you had? Because I know what I had. I had spinach and ranch garlic puree.
Mm-hmm.
I had meatloaf with Skywalker Ranch tomato glaze.
Oh, nice!
I don't know what that is.
You gotta love that tomato glaze.
But yeah, it was awesome. I stole everything that wasn't nailed down. You know those they had those bicycles that this is the postcards that I bought to send to everybody.
Those are nice.
And man, this is how long ago this was. My 18-year-old who just went off to college was a little baby, and I bought all these Lucasfilm and Skywalker Sound onesies. like 20 of them, every one that they had at the Skywalker Ranch store. So as I was changing diapers, I was looking at Skywalker Sound and Lucasfilm and Star Wars onesies that I had bought at Skywalker Ranch. And so on one side, Visitor Day Pass, technical
and
building,
then the map.
The map, dude.
is on the other side. Yeah.
You know what's so cool?
That one I did
this,
take that. I did take that.
What's so cool about all this, Ernie, is that, you know, for a young guy who's making his first film and he's having all these incredible experiences, there's pressure to, you know, act like you've been there before, and you know, you got to keep up appearances, and I'm all Hollywood. I love the fact that you're just stealing stuff. Like you're like, dude, you only live once, and this is my dream, and you know, I'm just going to make sure that I have all of these memories. I just think it's just
you
awesome.
guys, you guys and I have something in common. I realized when I was watching When the Galaxy Listens, that documentary. Which, if anybody's listening, if you guys haven't seen this documentary about Jimmy and Jason, it's fantastic, and it really captures Star Wars fandom, and it shows a little bit of your visits to the ranch. But I realize my claim to fame, I think, is that I'm the only Star Wars fan ever to break into Skywalker Ranch by writing a movie about breaking into Skywalker Ranch.
Yeah, right.
The other writers didn't get to go. I'm the only one who got to go, and it was my idea. So I broke in. I stole the menu. I ate there. I came up to the gate. They waved me in. It was just it was amazing. And you guys also in that documentary, you had that same moment where you come up to the gate and you're like, "There's no way they're going to let me in." And they let you in. It's like going to Neverland or Oz or the Magic Kingdom. It's amazing. I'm never going to get over it. I was friends with Aaron Alston, who wrote a bunch of great Star Wars novels, a bunch of the X-Wing novels. Yeah, and he never got to go to Skywalker Ranch. He got to go to Big Rock Ranch, but you know, unless you had a specific reason, it's real. And getting inside the main house is also. Like maybe if you get to go work at Skywalker Sound, you work on the stage that you rent or pay for, but that's it. You don't get, you know, to, so all that felt like a special, privilege. And, I was trying to savor, every bit of it. And I still look back on it as my origin story. It really, Fanboys going the way it did, it really taught me maybe I didn't want to be a screenwriter. Maybe I wanted to try writing a novel where I could have control of everything and not have.
Boy, did you! Yeah. I mean,
I did, but it was also taught me, you know, that what I said at the panel: be bold and powerful forces will come to your aid. Just by having that idea, kind of that pure idea of like, what if I was dying and I wasn't going to live to see episode 1? What would I do? And I would go on a road trip with my friends and break into Skywalker Ranch and try to see it early. That idea like resonates with every Star Wars fan, and just that idea and sharing it and developing it resulted in getting to go to Skywalker Ranch. And for you guys, celebrate your own path of celebrating and loving Star Wars and geeking out harder on Star Wars than just about everybody else on the planet for a sustained period of time. You guys are in the upper, I think, you know, I try to be in the upper echelons of how hard, but there are people who Kyle geeks out harder on Star Wars than just about anybody that I know. Yeah. But you guys also, but by just through I love it when people geek out all the way down. I'll drill down all the way and geek out as hard as you can geek out on something, and then are rewarded with that. That's what Ready Player One is the story of that. And you guys live that with your own love of Star Wars. Have got to meet everybody and interview everybody, even some Star Wars celebrities who are no longer with us. You guys have helped create the whole record of interviews and lore the whole story of Star Wars. And then you get to go to the ranch and get to be part of the story of Star Wars. And Filoni and the creators, credit you with helping them get to where they are. Now, you guys are all wrapped up in the story of Star Wars. Just like Fanboys, I got wrapped up in the story of Star Wars briefly. And I'm never going to be too cool for school. I got to make a Star Wars movie. I remember going into Kyle's hotel room when I first got to Albuquerque and going into the room and seeing, meeting Corey Lorenzen, the production designer who had done Napoleon Dynamite. And we were talking about it and, we're making a Star Wars movie. It blew my mind. Oh, these signs were on all the vehicles. He's
got the sign. It says Fanboys now filming on location a long time ago in Albuquerque, far, far away.
This logo, it was perfect. Corey made this logo. It never made it onto the DVD or the posters. I ended up photoshopping it into some posters that I made in Photoshop because this is the logo that I always wanted to have. But I'll never forget, it's my last day on the set in Las Vegas, New Mexico, after shooting the Star Trek, the con stuff, when I was one of Seth Rogen's posse. I got in the van to get a ride back to eat back to the soundstage, and I knew I wasn't going to ride in the truck again, and I asked the guy if I could have the sign, and I saw him think it over, and he's like, "Oh, this guy wrote the movie." He's like, "Okay, yeah, you can have it," and that's why I have it, is because that transfo worker gave it to me. I want to show you also. It's the last one I have. It's a Lucas trash bag.
The Lucas trash.
Yeah.
Oh
nice.
My gosh!
From the actual trash compactor scene from Fanboys, which is amazing. And that, of course, was not shot actually at Skywalker Ranch. You have some Star Wars bed sheets.
Is it a bed sheet or is it a beach towel?
These are original Bucephalus curtains.
The curtains from the van.
Van, yes. I heard you guys talking about the van in the last episode, calling it Bocephus.
Bocephus.
But that was me. That was me. I brought some Hank Williams Jr.,
So in my original script and in the original cut of the movie, which I shared with you guys, the work print, it was called Bucephalus, which is named after Alexander the Great's horse. So Hutch named his van Bucephalus, and he refers to her as Bucephalus a couple times, but it got cut out in the final when it was getting tinkered with.
That's awfully learned for Hutch, I would say.
I went in after they had two versions of Bucephalus. One that was driven, you saw in exteriors for stunts, and then there was another one, the process van, they ended up cutting in half so they could get the camera inside and shoot inside the van. And when they were done shooting, they just left a bunch of stuff behind, including the van. And I was running around the set just stealing stuff because I knew it was all probably going to get thrown away. And I went into Bucephalus and I took a bunch of the stuff off the wall. I took the curtains and I took one of the last surviving Bucephalus lamps.
Oh my gosh!
Were these little lamps that?
I don't know that Ernie, I don't know that I ever noticed that. What you got is this is a Burger King glass, one of the original from A New Hope, and it's been turned into a lamp.
A lamp.
Something
you can only see them in a couple. You can see them in a couple shots. They broke pretty quickly, but when they're first leaving Ohio, when you see interior shots of the van, you can see a couple of. I think one or two of these hanging in the back, but they broke pretty quickly, and then they were not in later shots of the movie.
I hope those weren't your childhood Burger King glasses. Okay.
No, they were. This was 2005, early days of eBay. The production, they were raiding people selling lots of Burger King glasses on eBay. But
that's incredible. Yeah,
it gets more incredible, dude.
What do you got?
I've got one of the
THX faces.
Yes, THX.
The guards.
Like what Ray Park was wearing.
Which were just Halloween. We were just, I think, probably William Shatner Halloween masks that have been spray painted silver. Or, I don't know. But, and then I've got, this is pretty cool. This is a piece of the archive room door that was made to look like the
the tentative.
The Hoth door, but in the Lucasfilm archive, there was a door that was made to look like
it's the Hoth door.
C-3PO rips the sticker off.
Yes,
it was a joke that got cut. But anyhow,
that's a deep
you can
cut.
still see the white door in the finished film, and this is a piece of it. And this is a piece of the Kirk Khan statue. That's shattered.
He's got a piece of the statue, like it's a religious artifact.
And
kind of.
Then I have the Rush, and then aside from the Rush tape case, this is probably the most prized prop that I have, which is
the phaser.
The phaser, which, as you guys can see, is not a phaser at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
It's actually an electric shaver that is still in the shrink wrap, and the shrink wrap was spray painted silver, and then they put a couple plastic buttons and a strip of you see it for 1 second in the film.
Right.
It's like a 1 second shot, just long enough to see that it's kind of a phaser, but not really. It could be, but yes. So
No,
I
not
have the
even
phaser
close, yeah.
to suss. Fogler has a real phaser at his booth. I have the actual screen use. I alone can suss out the Trekkie bitches.
Yeah. This is a shot of the at Fogler's photo op there. At Rebel ScumCon, he had like a legit phaser, but I kind of like the charm of Ernie's sort of bootleg version because, as we know, even though Lucasfilm and the maker himself, George Lucas, was very kind enough to say, kind of write you a blank check and say you can use the IP, Paramount was a little less than giving in that respect, and so modifications were needed with the costumes as well as that phaser prop that you had there. So you did what you had to do.
We did what we had to do. We were making fun of Star Trek, so I understand. That's their crown jewel. So why would we let you Star Wars nerds make fun of us?
Exactly.
We're not going to.
That's what we do best. That's what we do best would be my response.
Listen.
What'll it be, fellas? How much for the phaser gun? For the phaser gun? Sorry, Garfunkel. We don't hawk Trek here.
Well then, Slim, if you don't sell the Trek, then why do you have a phaser gun in the case?
We keep this one here to suss out Trekkie bitches like yourselves and tell them to get the hell off of our land. So get the hell off of our land. Get the hell off of our land! Get the hell out of here! Now! Get out of here, you Kirk-loving Spock suckers!
Rebel Force Radio.
Official episode 1 countdown. 6 months, 12 days, 8 hours, and some change. Look, guys, we could see the movie tonight.
Please, not this again.
Rebel Force Radio.
So this is a letter that was posted all around Albuquerque for Star Wars fans. Congratulations, you have been chosen to be part of the movie Fanboys.
More than likely, you won't have a speaking role, but you're still going to be in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. And it's instructions for extras, and it was just the coolest thing ever to have my idea balloon, even though it got changed and warped, and Darth Weinstein and Kaiser Soze ended up
Kevin Spacey. Yeah.
It's a wild ride, almost as wild as my second movie.
But I just real quick on that note, I don't think we've really talked to you since, of course, and it's not like everybody thought that Harvey Weinstein was some angel or some saint, but the fact that this film went through the meat grinder that it did, and and the two of the most prominent guys there were Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey, who just a few years later would have these incredible falls from their high positions of power, and it's just amazing that you guys had a front row seat to some of that.
it was like all the cliches, everything everybody ever warned you about Hollywood and selling your idea to Hollywood and what will happen and the people. That was the thing. What I was saying, be bold and powerful forces will come to your aid. But the problem was 2 of the powerful forces were also 2 of the most horrible people in Hollywood. But they also wielded immense power. And Harvey Weinstein, made Kevin Smith's career and Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. Like they all owe him, and Dimension Films, his brother. They all, a lot of important filmmakers owe those guys, and didn't know what was going on. I think Kevin Smith ended up like donating all the proceeds from the movies he made with Harvey because he felt so icky about it afterwards. It was, but I just heard about him being an awful person and a horrible filmmaker and horrible to filmmakers. I never heard any of that stuff. I did hear about Kevin Spacey hitting on the male actors on the set, inappropriate since he was their boss.
Sure.
So it was just, highs and lows, man.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Those creeps are involved, but also Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Is involved. Billy D. Williams shows up and hangs out. Ray Park, Darth Maul, and George Lucas letting us use original, Ben Burt R2D2 sounds when the dome on the van lights up. That's original R2 Lucasfilm Sound Archive sound bites. When I watch that movie, it's just highs and lows. Some lines from my original script are still in there. Eat my exhaust pork rind. Somehow made it from my very first draft all the way through every version of the movie. Eat my exhaust pork rind.
So let's, if we could, kind of compare a little bit that experience with what you dealt with Ready Player One. So Ready Player One, just absolutely, well, it's one of those overnight successes, right, Ernie? I mean, it really wasn't. I mean, it came out and then it just grew and grew and grew, and then all of a sudden it seemed like it was inescapable. You were hearing about it everywhere, and then the news about the movie. So what did you learn from Fanboys that you took into the Ready Player One experience?
Mostly just frustration. I had written my love letter to Star Wars and Star Wars fandom and my own, the way my own love of Star Wars bonded my, me and my friends together. And then I had Hollywood, just chew it up and spit it out and make all kinds of changes and and add things that make fun of the characters for geeking out as opposed to celebrate them for being who they are. And so I was like, screw that, man. Like, I'll just write a novel. I don't need any money from Hollywood. There's no barrier to entry. The only limits are my imagination, and I can geek out as hard as I want to. I can drill down as deep as I want, and in my references, and pay tribute to all the things I want to pay tribute to, and no one can tell me I'm doing it wrong or that they don't get it. And so that was Ready Player One. It was me kind of cathartically trying to undo the bad mojo that I had gotten from Fanboys, but it was also, another story like Fanboys, where characters, through their fervent fandom and obsession with some element of pop culture or all elements of pop culture, and their own passion and celebration and studiousness and devotion to these things, end up, achieving greatness. And that's my own strange path. And I had a glimpse of it with Fanboys. I was like, wow, as bad as it went and as everything that went wrong, I still got to make a movie with Lando and Princess Leia, and so and visit Skywalker Ranch, and be in a scene with Captain Kirk, pretty crazy. So that it kind of was a sample of the the reality distortion field. You know, that if I can do that just by writing a screenplay, what could I do if I try and write a novel? And it turns out, you know, everything that you could ever want to happen when you write your first novel happened to me when I wrote Ready Player One. It was
amazing.
Yeah, it was a bestseller in hardcover and then a bestseller in paperback. And then I did that contest where I gave away a DeLorean and had Easter eggs hidden in the book. And Richard Garriott, the creator of Ultima, helped me run that video game contest. It was like an amazing experience. And that was, I had already written my drafts of the screenplay before the book even came out, because there was a bidding war for the publishing rights of the book in 2010. And then as a result of that bidding war, there was a bidding war in Hollywood for the film rights. And to buy the film rights, they had, since I was already established in the Writers Guild because of Fanboys, they had to let me write the first few drafts of the screenplay if they bought the film rights to Ready Player One. And I just would write a screenplay adaptation of my own novel. So if the finished film ends up resembling my novel at all, then I'll get screenwriter credit. So that, which is kind of what happened. I did all my work without knowing whether the book would be a bestseller, and then it became a runaway bestseller. And so I couldn't even, when I was writing the screenplay, I couldn't like tell the studio, "Hey, this is a bestseller." You know, like I didn't know whether it was, you know, going to do well at all. So I kind of
that's interesting. That's something that hadn't really occurred to me was that, yes. So the film rights went at the right around the same time as the
book rights,
the book rights, right? So it didn't have that clout going into it. You didn't have that clout going into it that you might have later had it gone out later. No, but then other writers worked on the script after me, and Zach Penn worked on the script. And then that was when we started shopping for directors, and that was when Steven Spielberg came on board. And I, you know, when they told me he was going to read the script, the story I always tell is that I got like a spark of elation and then just deeply depressed because I knew he was going to say no. He was going to read the book. They're like, he's going to read the book and he's going to read all the drafts of the script and he's going to let us know in 2 weeks. So those the longest 2 weeks of my life.
I'll bet.
Yeah, because in the book, there's a rip on Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And I'm like, well, he's going to get to that and he's going to throw it in the trash and be like, screw that project and go on to something else. Yeah. And so I thought, you know, that's going to happen and I'm going to have to spend the rest of my life wondering what it would have been like if Steven Spielberg had directed Ready Player One. And so I was despondent until he said yes. And then when it happened, you know, so thankfully I didn't have to spend the rest of my life wondering what would happen. And it was the exact opposite of Fanboys. He was deeply kind to me and a huge fan of the book and so respectful, and always he had paperback copy of the book that he would keep on his chair whenever I was on the set, and he invited me to come to the set whenever I wanted. And I went, you know, it was just a dream of how you would want it to be if you were getting your novel adapted by the greatest filmmaker of all time. You know, it was, it was just the best experience you could have. So I have, and now that's still only the two movies I've made, right? Fanboys and Ready Player One. So it's like night and day. I had like the worst experience with the worst people, and then the best experience with the best people. It's all downhill from here, fellas.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think you're just getting started. If it wouldn't take you so damn long to write your damn books, maybe we could have some more movies out there. But hey, listen, you can't rush genius. And Ready Player One is a work of genius. I love it so much. It speaks to our generation. It leans into nostalgia. It leans into humor. It leans into technology. And there's really sharp social commentary going on along the way as well. The book is based in the 2040s, and I absolutely love it. Plenty of Star Wars references in Ready Player One.
We've got Star Wars. There's an X-Wing and a TIE fighter in the movie. I don't know if you guys know this, and I didn't know it was going to happen until I actually saw the first cut of the movie, because they told us right up until the end that we weren't going to get Star Wars clearances for Ready Player One, but I think Steven ended up calling Kathleen Kennedy and then just made it happen. So
if anybody can make it happen, right?
He made it happen. And
Absolutely.
so there's a scene where you see a bunch of spaceships flying towards the distracted globe right before they go to the dance club. You can see, and in that shot, you can see an X-wing and a TIE fighter flying in my movie, dude. In my Steven Spielberg movie, there's an X-wing and a TIE fighter flying towards the distracted globe. And then also at the end, in Wade's apartment, spoiler, at the end, and all the stuff in his apartment, you can see he has like an R2-D2, I think, in his apartment. So there's like a few other, and a bunch of Star Wars toys and stuff. So there's Star Wars ephemera. There's no Star Wars characters that I'm aware of, but just those two ships made it into the movie.
But
I'll tell you what, I'm a
Star Wars.
I'm a huge fan of the audiobook, read by Will Wheaton. He did an amazing job with that audio, and he's also done the follow-up and your book Armada as well. Will does a fantastic job.
Yeah, Will. They added a New York Times audiobook category in March of 2018, which is right when the Ready Player One movie was coming out. So they had this inaugural audiobook category, and it was Ready Player One was the first number one New York Times audiobook, and then it was number one for the next 5 months.
So you conquered all three. You conquered hardback, softcover, and audiobook.
Yes, and film for that matter too.
I found out that Will knocked it out of the park so hard with Ready Player One. It is the best-selling science fiction audiobook in history.
Oh, it's great. It's a great listen.
Awesome.
So, Ernie, what I've done, I've gone through the audiobook. Now, you're going to have to focus here because this is going to happen very rapid fire. But I've gone through the audiobook, and I've pulled excerpts of every Star Wars reference made in the book. We're going to play you the clips. Yes, we're going to play you the clip one at a time, and you are going to just give us your first blush reaction to hearing your own words, your own Star Wars references being played back to you as read by Will Wheaton. And then you're going to share a story or the inspiration for the reference or anything that comes to mind. Are you on board with this?
I'm on board, Jimmy.
All right. Here is clip number 1.
I'd seized upon this idea a few years earlier when I coded my first Atari 2600 game, a Gunter rite of passage, like a Jedi building his first lightsaber.
Oh, yes. You know, I think this might have been right around the time that the Laserdisc or the Blu-rays dropped, and we finally got to see that Return of the Jedi footage.
Oh, yeah.
Of
the deleted scene.
Building his lightsaber and igniting it one-handed. That little, oh my gosh! I don't know where I saw that. It might have been some
Star Wars Celebration. Remember that George Lucas?
Yeah,
the George Lucas event at Star Wars Celebration.
They did.
Yeah,
the main event.
Somebody had a camera. Camera. Anyhow. So it was that. That's why I put that in there because that Luke, and I knew it was in the novelization. Man, leading up to Empire Strikes Back, and after watching the first Star Wars film, I reread the novelization, the Alan Dean Foster Ghost wrote the first one that George Lucas gets credit for. I read that, and it was a way to watch the movie endlessly before you had VHS tapes, right? I would read the novel over and over again. I read the Empire Strikes Back novelization, Splinter of the Mind's Eye. Oh my God. If you kids haven't read Splinter of the Mind's Eye, you can see how far they took the Luke Leia thing.
Right.
Before
There's definitely a lot of sexual tension in that novel.
Splinter of the Mind's Eye.
All right, Ernie, we got another clip. Here. This is clip number 2, second Star Wars reference from Ready Player One.
The inside was sparsely decorated. A picture of Princess Leia posing with a blaster pistol.
Okay. So
you guys know that
random
you guys know
poster.
the picture I'm talking about. You guys know the picture I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, it was a publicity shot.
Yeah. You see it in your head.
Where she's got the blaster like this, or is it the one where she's holding it like this?
She did it like
that look.
She's got the hood. She's got the hood pulled, and she's almost doing the James Bond.
Yes, I was going to say it's the James Bond look.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that's the actual poster. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So now we know we can actually put a legitimate visual with that reference. All right, reference number 3.
That's that more than the Lamborghini Countach or the Farrah Fawcett photo. That image of Carrie Fisher with the blaster, because beautiful but also bad. It's like all right there, which is what I loved about Princess Leia. Beautiful but smart and bad, and she'll end you if she has to. If you get in the way of her rebellion and what she has to do to put an end to fascism,
it's all there.
Organa will end you.
Don't get in the way.
Yeah.
All right, here's number 3.
I was just reading this great piece on Ewoks, The Battle for Endor. Made for TV, released in 1985, I recited. Star Wars trivia was one of my specialties. Total garbage, a real low point in the history of the wars. Says you, ass face. It has some great moments. No, I said, shaking my head. It doesn't. It's even worse than that first Ewok flick, Caravan of Courage. They should have called it Caravan of Suck.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? That sold it to Spielberg. He loves when people take
he was like,
the piss out of George.
George,
like
But you guys remember, you see the ads, you get so juiced up. You're oh my God, Star Wars on television. Oh my God, this is going to be so great.
Those TV guide ads.
Oh,
the black and white. Yep.
Jeez Louise. The episode 1 buildup was almost equaled by the Ewoks Battle for Endor.
Oh, I don't know about that. I remember the first Ewoks movie when it debuted. The first Ewoks movie debuted, it was in 1985, and I was working at a pizza place at a Lou Malnati's in Chicago, making pizzas, and we were all excited because they were going to do an FM simulcast of the Ewok movie as it was airing in real time so people could turn on their stereos at home. This is before everyone had the
stereo. You got to hear it in stereo, Jimmy.
Right,
you got to witness this masterpiece in surround sound.
Well, we were excited, so we put it on in the kitchen and we're listening to it, and I think the takeaway was, it probably is better if we actually see it than just listen to it. And then when we finally saw it, we're like, no, it's it was better when we were just listening to it.
It's George taking a dry run at Willow, but with like a much lower budget, and in Ewoks, it's got heavy Willow vibes.
It sure
Ewoks,
does.
The battle. But it was made for about $4, and it looks like all they gave them from the Star Wars, from the Lucasfilm archives, was like 4 dirty Ewok suits and a laser pistol. I wait the whole thing for a lightsaber or laser blast. I think the dad shoots the laser pistol once, and it looks like it's a battle. It looks like a Battlestar Galactica laser pistol or something they ripped off from Buck Rogers.
Yeah.
Pull up a video of that laser pistol and ask me if that looks like it belongs.
Looks like your phaser that you got sitting there from the Fanboys set.
So, but I feel bad because I feel bad whenever because I'm writing Ready Player One and I'm just having fun, right? And I don't think I'll ever get the book published or that I'll ever finish it. So whenever I'm, and that's just a conversation my friends and I would have talking about those movies, probably did have. So. But then Ready Player One becomes this huge thing. Will Wheaton does an audiobook, and then the poor guys who did the Ewok movies have to hear this
Caravan of
forever.
Suck.
I think those guys actually went on to do Pitch Black. The same guys.
Oh, no kidding.
And maybe did they do the Great Heap that Ben Burt?
The Droids cartoon.
The Droids cartoon that was
that I don't know.
We if only there was a way to find out.
If there was only like some sort of thing like the Oasis that we can go to, and
we'll just have to wonder our whole lives. But
all right, well, let's hear our.
You got the next one?
Yeah, we got our next clip, and it continues the same theme.
Oh, so I'm a pussy. You're the one with the Ewok fetish. I snatched the Starlog out of his hands and threw it against a Revenge of the Jedi poster on the wall. I suppose you think your extensive knowledge of Ewok culture is going to help you find the egg? Don't start on the Endorians again, man, he said, holding up an index finger. I've warned you. I will ban your ass. I swear. I knew this was a hollow threat, so I was about to push the Ewok thing even further. Maybe give him some crap for referring to them as Endorians.
A little too close to Andorians.
Yeah, I know. Andor. Somebody's running out of Star Wars words.
I think that was the first. I think that was the first time that I've ever heard them referred to as Andorians. Is that
same?
Is that something that you
I just
encountered, or you just wrote it? You just made it up.
Well, it occurred to I guess they're on a moon, the moon of Endor.
Right.
I don't know if that moon has a name, but I don't think it's Ewok. I don't know if that's their own name. I don't know if that's their own name for themselves, Ewok, or it's like Indian. It's like some name that these colonizers, the Empire, gave them.
Oh God! Can you
I don't know the
imagine?
etymology. I don't know the etymology of of Ewok.
Well, I thought it was always the word Wookiee turned inside out, Ewok.
Yeah.
They were
it could
like
be. Because
opposite
it was
of a
originally supposed
Wookiee.
to be. I will tell you though that a Revenge of the Jedi poster reference. So many misguided nerds emailed me to let me know that it was Return of the Jedi.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Well, don't they realize that it was a
no.
collectible from a certain era? That
I know. If only there was a way they could look something up.
We gotta
better to
open
just
up the
email
Oasis.
the author. Better to just email the author.
Right.
and
That's the
criticize him.
most efficient way to handle this.
But,
All right, let's go on to our next clip. Here's our next clip.
Are you cocks arguing about Star Wars again? He said, descending the steps and walking over to join the crowd around us. That shit is so played out, yo.
By 2045, Disney's run Star Wars into the ground, and it's totally played out, yo. Right? So they've only got another 18 years before it'll but
Ready Player One does look ahead to the future an awful lot, but I think in that particular case, that might be a look into the crystal ball to see what people are going to be saying when they call into Rebel Force Radio in the year 2045.
Well, it's an alternate. Ready Player One clearly is in an alternate timeline where Disney never bought the rights because when I don't know if you have this, but when Wade's listing off everything that he's studying, he only mentions the original trilogy and the prequels. Yeah. Doesn't ever mention the sequel trilogy. So
okay, I think we have that clip coming up, so we don't want to jump too far ahead. Like I said, this is every Star Wars reference. And you know what? I couldn't find a list.
You did this, Jimmy. I love that you did this.
I couldn't find a list or anything online. Like there was no definitive list of every Star Wars. So I think I'm going to have to write an article now after I've done all this research and put it out there so the world can see.
Wikipedia.
No.
Wikipedia article or Ready Player One wiki. Both. They should both have entries.
Yeah, they should, but they don't. I scoured them all. Believe me, I was trying to make this job easier than going through the whole book again, but it was a thrill to do that. Let's just say one of my young sons is he was going through some girl problems the same time Percival was with Artemis. And it really kind of rocked me. I was like, wait a second, is this the book or is this real life? What am I doing here? But I stepped up. I think I even quoted Ready Player One at one point, give him little words of wisdom from Wade
from Dad.
Try to pump him up.
That's awesome.
All right, here's the next clip.
Halliday bought and restored one of the original DeLoreans used in the Back to the Future films, continued to spend nearly all of his time welded to a computer keyboard, and used his newfound wealth to amass what would eventually become the world's largest private collection of classic video games, Star Wars action figures, vintage lunchboxes, and comic books.
Oh, yeah.
So this is when I have to ask the question, is Halliday you? And I know people have asked you this before, but I haven't looked up the answer, so I'm curious myself.
No, well, I'm a dad. I have a wife and kids, and I go to conventions. I throw parties. I'm pretty social. pretty social guy. So Halliday is kind of a borderline shut in with Asperger's probably, and he's got real serious issues relating to people. So, but he and I do enjoy a lot of the same stuff.
Yes. Yeah, that's probably what I was getting at more than his neuroses. I was getting more into the things. But he takes it
to the extreme, even beyond that I do. Like I have a few Star Wars toys from, that have sentimental value from when I was a kid, but I don't feel the need to have everything backed and boarded and, displayed. But I respect the people who do. That's their particular Jones is, and I love that documentary. Was it Plastic Galaxy about the Kenner? Oh, yeah. And man, growing up in Canton, growing up in Ohio, and having Kenner right there down in Cincinnati, I feel like we just got crazy good access. All our Kmarts and all our big wheels, they were all stocked with all the Kenner you could want. And I want to talk to Seth Green.
Everybody talked about how the last 17, the Power of the Force figures and how hard they were to find, and some people never saw them in stores. I saw them everywhere, like KB Toys, Children's Palace. Yeah, we did not have that problem. That was one nice thing about being in Ohio at that time.
Yeah, it was.
What were you going to say about Seth Green?
I was going to say, I love all the Robot Chicken Star Wars stuff that Seth does is brilliant. And Seth really wanted to direct Ready Player One for a while. He was really loved that book. Told me it was his favorite book. He's the sweetest guy.
Too bad you got stuck with the guy who ended up directing it. My God.
But what I wanted to do with Seth someday, and you guys could help me with this project. I want to do the original trilogy, but only with Kenner, Star Wars action figures and play sets. So you reenact all three movies, but just only what you could do with Kenner, nothing else. And it's got the hands. It's got the kids' hands are in the shots.
Okay.
And it's kids' voices. It's all like the old Kenner commercials, right? So you redo the whole movie, but it's got that, and you even use that music, da da da,
sure,
that's on every one of those Kenner commercials. But I love the idea of reenacting the movies and doing it in like those backyard settings that all those, but because the kids kind of reenact scenes from the movies, but not scenes from the movies in those commercials. They're doing like their own versions or the like side. So I love the idea. You could do. And Seth is a genius at filming action figures. So I think if you could get permission, which I don't know how you could do it from Disney now, but I think more than Lego,
just make it a fan film.
I know, right? But that's my and you could probably just tell AI to do it and it would be done.
That's no fun.
Anyway, but I know. But I want to do it with kid actors and with 70s bowl haircuts, and you can kind of see them. Yes.
Well, the fun part was working around the gaps. Like there's no Tarkin. There's no Tarkin. You could.
Oh, right. He's have him off screen.
Yeah,
he has to be voice over.
Yeah.
Or you use one of the Death Star generic guys.
Right. Yes. Which we all did back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Halliday collected, he had the largest collection in the world of Star Wars action figures, comic books, lunch boxes.
He's Steven Stansweet, basically.
But again, I think he's you. I think that if you had unlimited funds, that's where the money would go. Lunch boxes.
I would love to have that. But I already have too much stuff. And not enough room to display it. Even movie posters, I don't have enough room to display all the. You reach a point of maximum density in your home, and you just have to. I just keep it all in my soul. I collect it all.
Yes.
All the Star Wars action figures are in here. And man, do I love it when they used when that troop transport showed up on the Mandalorian to finally became canon. All that little stuff. Man, we don't deserve Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. We are living in a golden age. None of you Star Wars nerds appreciate what you have now.
We talk about this all the time. Like, talk about problems. Well, in the what was the INT that with the mini rig that showed up in Mandalorian and Grogu? Of course, that's causing a big brouhaha with pricing and Hasbro right now. But still, we got it, right? We got it. It's just that now in 2026, it costs $80 instead of whatever that mini rig was in in 1980.
It's Darth Vader. Watch out! And he's got a lightsaber.
It's Kenner's new Star Wars action figures, each sold separately.
I got you now, Ben Kenobi.
Rebel Force Radio.
All right, I think we got some more of these clips here. We have
another clip here from Ready Player One.
I could do this all night long, fellas.
I devoured each of what Halliday referred to as the Holy Trilogies. Star Wars, original and prequel trilogies in that order.
There you go. That's that reference you were
so there could
earlier.
be a sequel trilogy. It's just not one of the holy trilogies.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Halliday.
Okay.
No.
Even in 2045, they're not going to debate that, I don't think.
And then the other holy trilogies were Lord of the Rings, Matrix. What am I missing? There was a fourth one. I didn't include them in the clip because I just Back to the Future, of course, Back to the Future. So those are the holy trilogies right there.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we agree, and it's fine that you don't have to go back and rewrite
Indiana
the novel.
Jones. See, Indiana
of course,
Jones.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
of course. Another one that avoids.
This is where I diss Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And
yes, Oh, that is a diss, isn't it? Okay, so next clip.
I recognized the music. It was the last track from John Williams' original Star Wars score, used in the scene where Princess Leia gives Luke and Han their medals, and Chewbacca, as you may recall, gets the shaft.
Chewbacca.
Right.
They get
tried to
medals, he gets
retcon
the
that.
shaft.
It was that line in Ready Player One is the reason they gave Chewie that medal.
Really?
It was the MTV Video Awards. Was it?
No, Rise of Skywalker. Didn't they give him the medal?
in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, he gets Han's medal finally. Han had to die in order for Chewie to get that
here
medal.
You go. Fine. There's only there's only two medals. One's going to Skywalker, who actually blew up the Death Star. You were kind of the co-pilot of the guy.
Yeah, right. You were just tagging along.
You didn't even want to be there, Wookiee. You were filling out some life debt. You didn't even want to be there.
You're doing it out of obligation.
No medal for you, dog man.
Dog man. Well, he was inspired by George Lucas's big furry dog.
Yeah,
and
but that's the throne room march. That man, I had that John Williams album on vinyl. It's my first Star Wars music, and then I had the cassette tape. But that was my favorite track. That the opening fanfare and then the throne room march.
So
I always loved it.
victorious.
So that's why it gets a shout out in Ready Player One. It's some of my favorite John Williams music.
A buddy of mine, when he got married, instead of leaving the wedding chapel to whatever, Here Comes the Bride or whatever they walk out to, he walked out to the throne room. And his best men all held up lightsabers. It was very touching.
I love it.
I felt a single tear come down my cheek. All right, next clip.
She stretched out a racing-gloved hand and offered me one of her contact cards. You could design your card to look like just about anything. Artemis had coded hers to look like a vintage Kenner Star Wars action figure still in the blister pack. The figure was a crude plastic rendering of her avatar, with the same face, hair, and outfit. Tiny versions of her guns and sword were included.
Now, that would be a deluxe figure these days, I think.
Right. It would be.
So there would be a serious
$29.99.
upcharge. Yeah.
They actually, I don't think I have one. I don't have one here, but they actually made an Artemis action figure for when the movie came out.
Oh, really?
That was just crazy. Oh my God, guys! When the action figures arrived, how long have I, ever since I grew up playing with Star Wars action figures, like the dream of playing with my own action figures. They made 4. They made Parzival, Artemis, H, and IROC are the only 4 that they made. But that's enough for me. I had them all posed. But
are these like one of a kind type
They came in a
things?
set. They came in a set of 4. If you Google Ready Player One action figures, you'll see them. I think
I had no idea.
Hot Topic sold them. Yeah, they're like,
wow.
They came in like a pack of 4. They made all kinds of crazy.
Here they are.
Ready Player One. They made all kinds of crazy Ready Player One merch when that movie
These
came out.
These are nice looking figures, man. These are real nice.
They exist, dude. I created those characters, and then now they're action figers.
That's incredible.
Bucket
the
list
IROC is so cool.
Checked off, so cool, and they all have their own guns. Check it out. So Wade has RoboCop's gun. Artemis has the M41A pulse rifle from Aliens, and I think H has their own custom made gun, or it might be a gun from Borderlands. I'm not sure. Yeah,
we definitely recognize the RoboCop gun for sure.
Do you recognize Parzival's belt?
That's Hans.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, down there by the.
He's got it in the movie too. He's got Han Solo's belt in the movie. So yeah,
don't tell George.
Makes me so happy.
Yeah, those are great.
Those exist.
I might have to hunt those down myself. Those are awesome. All right, we have another clip here from Ready Player One.
In the middle of all the dancers, a large clear bubble was suspended in space at the absolute center of the club. This was the booth where the DJ stood, surrounded by turntables, mixers, decks, and dials. At the center of all that gear was the opening DJ, R2-D2, hard at work, using his various robotic arms to work the turntables. I recognized the tune he was playing, the '88 remix of New Order's Blue Monday, with a lot of Star Wars droid sound samples mixed in.
Are we sure those are samples being mixed in, or is it R2 actually verbalizing along with the music?
Yeah, it could be either one. But that song, New Order, Blue Monday, actually made it into the movie. That's the song that's playing when Wade walks in. But you do not see R2, or the DJ booth at all.
Not at all.
Which bummed out Simon Pegg, I will tell you. When I saw him at we were doing the press junket in London, and I was having breakfast with him. I showed him concept art of his character Ogden Morrow in the DJ booth. But we ended up, he was bummed. He's like, I wanted to be the DJ in the Zero Gravity Dance Club. Didn't get to do it. But it would have been awesome to have R2 in there too. I always thought R2 would make a killer disc jockey.
You know, from our seats in the arena as spectators, when we see Simon Pegg, we often see somebody who identifies as a prequel hater. Do you get that vibe from him? Has he ever ranted to you about the prequels?
No, he never ranted to me about the prequels. He's a very positive person. Usually upbeat.
He's a generally upbeat guy, huh?
Yeah. He was, we talked about Spaced. Spaced, his TV series that he and Edgar Wright did was had a huge influence on me. It was one of the first original comedies where they just were weaving pop culture into all the dialogue, and each episode was full of homages to all their different favorite films and Pulp Fiction and Star Wars, and I just loved it. And so and it's referenced in Ready Player One.
That's right.
And so we talked about that and what a kick he got out of seeing that he was. His creation, Spaced, was part of my creation. I love it. One of the inspirations for the book.
Perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right, we have more references, Star Wars references from Ready Player One. What's next, Jay?
Standing on the left side of the runway was my battle-worn X-Wing fighter. Parked on the right side was my DeLorean.
Of course. Wade has a DeLorean. Of course he does.
Coolest car, coolest spaceship. And I, with the Mandalorian, I thought long and hard about making it to an X-Wing because when those doors come up, it looks a lot like
an X-Wing.
But I think going with the Mandalorian is better. Whenever you put laser cannons on a car, it just never looks right. Plus, because you're not flying, you're stuck on the ground.
Right.
So you don't need to be having laser cannons on the ground.
No,
But,
I'll tell you, there are times when I'm on the ground, I would love to have a laser cannon at my disposal driving through traffic.
Be bad news, Jimmy. You suspend your license for blowing people up.
All right, we have even more clips. Unless you exhausted that one, Ernie?
No.
Okay.
No, go.
Ships were like most other items in the Oasis. Each one had specific attributes, weapons, and speed capabilities. My X-Wing was far more maneuverable than the Oviraptor's large transport ship, so it was no trouble for me to avoid the barrage from their aftermarket guns while I bombarded them with laser bolts and proton torpedoes.
Yeah, the proton torpedoes even get a shout out.
That's all you got, really. You got 2 weapons on the X-Wing.
Yeah, that's all you need, though. Am I right?
That's all you need.
What else could you possibly need other than 4 laser cannons and a proton torpedo launcher? I mean, that would take up the weekend for me.
I love the that shot of the in the new Ahsoka season 2 trailer of what were those? Which ships were those that were shooting the lasers on that Star Destroyer?
The B-Wings?
The B-Wings.
Those are B-Wings.
Yeah.
I love that shot.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Badass.
Dude, you guys did a great breakdown of that. I'm so pumped for season 2. Rosario Dawson is born to play that role. Can't believe we're getting Hayden Christensen back playing Anakin.
How about that?
Dude, it's a golden age. It's a golden age for Star Wars fans. You guys and Thrawn, seeing like Thrawn realized like it's back. It just takes me back to when that's all we had was Heir to the Empire and the comic books, and another Star Wars movie is like 15 years in the future.
Yeah, like, that's what it was.
A long, empty road of no Star Wars, man.
Yeah,
and that's why when I see people complain, people complain now. It's just an embarrassment of riches. Even I, haven't had time to take in all the animated series. I felt awful. All the people from the mall animated series showed up at my party. I had not watched an episode.
You know what though? You're in store for.
Looks good though.
Good times.
It looks good.
You'll binge it. It's probably. I mean, it's the most. I think binge worthy of all the animated Star Wars stuff. It lends itself to. Yeah, sitting there.
And the season finale will leave you feeling pretty damn satisfied, I think.
Yes, it will.
All right.
As a longtime Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
If you guys say so. All right. You're going to make me watch it.
All right.
Okay,
let's 2 more of these. Here's the next one.
Cool.
The planet's only surface feature was a web of glowing green dots similar to the ground lights on an airport runway. They were spaced evenly across the globe in a perfect grid, so that, from orbit, Arcade resembled the vector graphic Death Star from Atari's 1983 Star Wars arcade game.
Oh, yeah.
How many quarters have you put in that machine?
Oh, my God, dude. My whole second novel, Armada, is basically inspired by climbing into the Star Wars sit-down cockpit for the first time. That and Tail Gunner. Tail Gunner 2, I think, was the first sit-down cockpit, but all those sit-down space combat simulator games where you climbed in and it was a sit-down, it felt like a simulator to me. It felt like Iron Eagle, right? Like I was training. And I remember some of the sit-down Star Wars arcade games had a headphone jack in them, so you could put your Walkman headphones in and hear like Obi-Wan's voice and all the sound effects like right in your ears. It was dope. I think that was George Lucas's request.
Wow.
Was to add the headphone jack. There's a great photo of George Lucas being shown the Star Wars arcade game for the first time. Him sitting in it, and is one of my favorite photos. But that game and games like it inspired Armada, the fantasy of flying an X-Wing, and I play Star Wars Squadrons in virtual reality in a VR headset, and the whole X-wing cockpit is perfectly rendered, and you can hit all the switches, and it's the dream. The Star Wars video games have gotten exactly there. It is the beard.
You know, you are so Ernie. You are like famously into video games in a profound way, and I felt so bad because you had this awesome hookup in your hotel room in Dallas, and you were showing me and Dan Fogler, but you were showing us, but nobody played it, and I felt so bad that I didn't sit down and start playing.
Well, who wants to? Yeah, nobody wants to sit and play video games when you got a room full of awesome people to talk to. We had so much fun just playing analog Star Wars Trivial Pursuit. That made me happy. I don't know if I told you guys that was the Star Wars Trivial Pursuit, the same game, the same box that I had in line for episode 1. That me and Harry Knowles and my friend and all the people who waited in line for days in tents outside the Metropolitan Theater in Austin, Texas, played that Trivial Pursuit. So it was 26, 27, 28 years later.
It was such
that box.
Special copy of that game.
Well, because it was famous because my Jed and I accused Harry Knowles of cheating by using the R2. It was the deluxe version. That's why I made everybody roll.
There was no dice. You had to use this little R2.
I made everybody roll the dice because the R2, because you could only really see is that crappy LED screen, and he was he seemed to always land on the spot that he needed with the wedge.
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
But Harry denies it 27 years later that there was any. But I'm still a little sore about that. You talk about a game of heavyweights at Rebel ScumCon in my hotel room was heavyweight Star Wars trivia for original trilogy. And I'm still pissed because about one of the questions where we didn't get a wedge near the end. What Star Wars characters in the original trilogy use a walking stick?
I remember this.
And our answers were Yoda. And Chief Chirpa. And apparently it was Yoda and the Emperor.
Of course.
Chief Chirpa. And I have since gone back and watched frame by frame Return of the Jedi. Chief Chirpa is leaning on that fucking stick. It is a walking stick.
It's a ceremonial staff.
We're robbed. Chief Chirpa should have been allowed. I should have had a protest, but I was probably too drunk at that point, so I let it slide. But my buddy who was on my team, Eric, the next day, he was showing me. He got me in the dealer's room. He's like, "You see this?" He's showing me a video of Chief Chirpa. He's like, "Look, see, we got robbed. Look, this is a walking stick."
Yeah, look at the distribution of weight on this Ewok right here.
Got grown men in their 50s pissed off about an Ewok's walking stick. Awesome.
Well, as far as video games, though, Ernie, for the longest time, I've been wanting to get you out here to the Chicago area to go to the Galloping Ghost Arcade in Brookfield, Illinois, which is the largest arcade in the world, probably, as far as individual games go.
I have watched YouTube walkthroughs of this arcade, Jimmy. I've always wanted to visit. We will go. I will come.
Definitely. I'm 5 minutes from there. I know all the guys there. They love you. I went there recently with a list of every video game mentioned in Ready Player One, and they have every single cabinet that you mentioned in the book. You can play your way through the novel at the Galloping Ghost Arcade. Every game except for one. Every game except for one, which would be, I think, Combat. They don't have that old tank game. But anything.
That's a console game. That's Atari.
Is it strictly? I thought there was actually.
Oh yeah, you're right. I know there was an
it.
Atari game, but I think it was called Tank. I think it was called Tank.
Oh,
I don't think it was called Combat.
Oh, so we have a technicality then that gives us the loophole that we needed to be able to proclaim that every game mentioned in Ready Player One is accessible at the Galloping Ghost Arcade. Well, except for Tennis for Two, which I think you can only play in a lab somewhere.
Right.
But,
that was Well, that's
that
awesome.
was not really a video game.
We will do it.
Yes, you must come out. and visit, and I would love to take you on in a game of Joust. That would be a dream come true.
Are the games all set to free play or use tokens?
All free play. You pay for admission. There are 1,100 different cabinets there. The guys who run the place, they're experts in the field. They maintain everything. They have a reproduction shop next door where they actually 3D print the pieces they need for the machines, and they work on all of those motherboards and everything. And they're crazy collectors. So I mentioned you to them. Oh yeah,
yeah. I'd love a behind the scenes tour. See their workshop and
they would take you. They would take you all over the place. Awesome. They basically own the whole block there on Ogden Avenue. So,
what's your guys' relationship with Star Wars video games in the arcade? That original Star Wars vector graphic game was amazing.
Yeah.
As was they had an upgrade kit for it. Basically, the same hardware could run the Empire Strikes Back one.
That's right. Yep.
But then on the Atari, there was a crappy one called Jedi Arena Battles with the paddles.
Yes.
Where you're basically swinging lightsabers. You can't actually move. It's really crappy. But I loved The Empire Strikes Back on the Atari, where you got to fly a snowspeeder and use I played the crap out of that.
That game was produced by Parker Brothers and their brief entry into video game production.
Yeah. Star Wars is one of those things, like through the whole evolution of video games from the very beginning, like vector graphics games in the early 80s, and all the way through the home consoles, home computers, Star Wars games, all the way up to now, virtual reality, still making, it's one of those through lines in video games, and the video games that I've always loved. Those old classic Nintendo platformers, like the ones that had in the hotel room, the Star Wars, the one that Lucas Games made, were so great.
Yeah, Super Star Wars.
Oh yeah, you get to drive the land speeder and blow up the Death Star. Yes. I love those old games where you're basically reenacting the movie.
Yeah, right.
Because that's your fantasy as a kid, and video games that let you do that, like let you act out the movie as the heroes and battle through the Death Star, that's just pure gold for a kid. I have huge nostalgia for that.
Yeah, when I'm playing games at home, it's almost always a Star Wars game. Of course, the vector graphics. I have the arcade 1-up machine.
Oh yeah. They make a bunch of replicas of the older games. Vector graphics. Those are hard to keep running because all the capacitors burn out because they're all 45 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
And the emulators they use are really very, there's a lot of integrity to what they do. They're very genuine, I got to say, compared to the originals. And so that's a lot of fun. I, of course, have played Super Star Wars until I've turned blue in the face. And Empire and Jedi are even harder games to play, which I don't think I've completed those. Love Dark Forces. I love the old Shadows of the Empire. And nowadays, playing the Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order, those are some outstanding video games, and some damn good Star Wars storytelling going on there too.
Yeah.
So I recommend those.
Yeah, me too. I love it when stuff from the video games too is working its way into the series and shows and films too. I remember when they were doing the special editions that I think they added they were adding ships from like Dark Forces and stuff were getting added in the background in this special editions on Tatooine. I have vague memories of that. Yeah,
they put the Outrider from Shadows of the Empire in there. All right, I think we have one more clip.
Here we go.
10 other Sixer avatars emerged from the castle and positioned themselves behind Sorrento, each of them standing a good distance apart. I have a bad feeling about this, Artemis muttered into her headset.
All right. And that's the final.
The granddaddy of all lines.
Yeah.
Yep.
The big one.
You got to use it. You know what? That was one of those. Has anyone ever tallied them up? I have a bad feeling about this. I know it gets used in every one of the 9 films.
Yeah.
Right?
It does. It does. I've put together some audio montages in the past of all that stuff, but I don't think I've updated it to include any of the shows or sequel films or Rogue One or anything like that.
I had a weird. We were talking about episode 3, and I always thought This Is Where the Fun Begins was Hayden Christensen.
No.
I never realized that was a callback to Han Solo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Until I was rewatching A New Hope, and I'm like, oh, I love that episode 3 so much that I had like associated that line come to associate it with him, even though it was Han Solo's line.
Yeah, you don't hear the Han Solo clip in isolation much at all, if ever. When you hear that, it's the Hayden version.
Yeah, and it's like his line. I remember he said it at Celebration when they were doing the Obi-Wan series. People lost their minds.
Oh yeah,
hearing him say that.
There's a great clip of Harrison Ford saying that line in the old Making of Star Wars TV special that came out in 77. And it's a behind-the-scenes thing. He's sitting in the cockpit of the Falcon, and there are these guys outside the cockpit, and crew guys, and they're shaking the cockpit around to make it seem like, they're bouncing in space. So they're done shaking it, and it just stops. And then Harrison goes, "This is where the fun begins." It's a great shot. I recommend you go check it out. So that's everything from Ready Player One, and I'll put down a compilation of all the quotes along with what chapters you can find them in. There are things like references to light speed, which I didn't include because that's really that has its own life outside of Star Wars. I realized that the first time I played Defender. I was like, oh, light speed here too. Oh boy.
Yes.
Rebel Force Radio.
But there's one last thing we want to do with you, Ernie. If we got you for a couple more minutes, a new teaser trailer for Star Wars Starfighter dropped at D23. You can't see it online, but we have a copy of it, and we were wondering if you would want to just take a look at it with us and kind of get your first blush reactions to Starfighter. Cool.
Hook me up.
All right. Well, Jason's loading the projector right now. It's all film. It's actual film strip. It's a film strip.
All right.
Kid opens the door. Now that's young Flynn Gray, who is this kid they discovered in Ireland, who is supposed to be an off-the-wall great actor. We shall see. We've heard that about
his name is rumored to be Roan, R-O-A-N, or Rowan. That's not been confirmed.
Do you know when this is set yet?
We're looking
5
at
years.
5 years after the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
So 5 years after The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
The furthest out we've been so far.
All right.
All righty.
So they're checking out this starship, and this is supposed to be, I guess, the focal point of this film is they have this old ship that they're refurbishing or something like that.
Who could they? It's 5 years after somehow Palpatine returned.
Yes.
And then he got killed again.
Right.
No coming back. I guess they could grow another clone, but who are they starfighting? Like, didn't the whole galaxy unite against?
We know so little. We know so little about this film.
This
Ernie,
is a tall order. This is a tall order to come up with another. You can't resurrect the Empire again, or the
Tall
Emperor
Order
again.
Maybe they're called the Tall Order. Maybe that's what they call themselves now.
Yes.
The Tall Order.
Right. So the log line, the official log line of the film, to remind everybody, is when a cynical rogue is confronted by his mysterious past, he is hurled into a dangerous adventure across the galaxy, putting him on a crash course with his own destiny. Okay.
That's an enigma wrapped in a riddle, wrapped in a mystery.
But I mean, here's something that I think is interesting here is, the dust cover, coming off and the kid discovering this vehicle. I mean, there's definitely like a vintage or classic car vibe And, this is evidence more, I think, of the current crop of Star Wars creatives that are trying to like dissect the things that George loved that made Star Wars, and his love of cars is showing up right here. I think that's where what this is inspired by. So if we hear these folks saying, hey, we made a car movie, essentially, a hot rod film, because that's what George loved, and that's what made Star Wars.
That's why the Razor Crest, the yellow on the Razor Crest, is, I found out when I was doing The Mandalorian, is Milner yellow from Milner's character in Graffiti. His hot rod, his Ford Deuce Coupe, is the same yellow as the Mandalorian's stripes on the Razor Crest.
That's cool.
From American Graffiti.
That's cool.
It's that same kind of Favreau talking about that, drawing from samurai movies.
Yes.
And drawing from the things that inspired George.
Right.
Yeah.
Which we talk about this a lot on the show, which is, those things are great because they all combine and melt into Star Wars. But if it's just too much of one thing, a samurai movie is not the same as Star Wars. A film about hot rod vehicles or starships is not Star Wars. It takes all of those elements. So that's just, kind of an ongoing debate that we have, back and forth here. But this garage, the setting of this garage, this feels very Luke Tatooine to me. This looks, feels like the garage that we first see Luke hanging out with the droids and playing with his T-16 model. Has that kind of, definitely has the used universe. There's nothing glamorous or glitzy about this. So
how long is this teaser? How long is the whole thing?
About a minute.
About a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So look at what he's wearing, Ryan Gosling. That doesn't feel like very Star Wars.
Well, that's not Gosling there.
Is that the kid?
That's the kid. Yeah.
Oh, that's the kid. What they just let him wear whatever he showed up to in the set, and they just said, "Hey, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that looks good." I don't know. That doesn't feel like very Star Wars wardrobe to me, but whatever. I'm not seeing it within proper context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let it roll. Ernie needs to get moving here.
I got to see the whole. No, I got to see the whole thing.
Oh,
you're teasing me. You're teasing me with the teaser. I haven't seen the whole thing yet.
Oh,
you guys are seeing it. You're analyzing frame by frame. I need to see the whole thing.
All right, he's running his fingers across it. He realizes this is something special. This is a thing of beauty, and then he's interrupted by Cade, played by Ryan Gosling. Cade Oberon. That's been confirmed. Where he says, didn't I tell you not to touch anything? The lovable rogue.
Tell you not to touch it?
So the kid's just like, well, yeah, but it's such a cool starship. I couldn't help myself. And then he explains what sort of ship it is. And it's nothing we ever heard of before.
A decommissioned G-17 Imperial Reaper. The fastest
G-17.
starfighter ever built.
Okay.
The kid says he's never heard of it.
Wait, okay. Not the ship they're in, the ship that he's...
No, they're in a garage or a hangar of some sort.
Okay.
And so they're talking about the ship that was underneath the tarp. We don't get to see a whole lot of it.
It looks like a crappy speeder. It
does look like a crappy speeder. And what's even curious about this is that it's Imperial. So this predates the First Order. So this is an old vehicle, decommissioned G-17 Imperial Reaper.
It looks like something you could get at a used speeder lot in Mos Espa for like 400 credits. Looks like garbage.
It doesn't look like much on the outside, but it's kind of where it counts, So the kid says, I've never heard of it. And Cade responds, well, there's a reason for that. So this is something that, and then he goes over and closes it up.
Secret.
Yeah, maybe it's some kind of prototype or something.
All right.
We see a lot of this water world environment in the trailer and in some of the promo shots they were showing off at D23. But this is just a speeder bike, probably being driven by Ryan Gosling, across this water environment. I guess this is the main planet where things are going to happen. Instead of Tatooine all sand, we get all water.
Well, and here's this jacket that everybody's been talking about. I think Ryan Gosling actually wore it to D23, and it has this upside down.
It's a symbol of the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah, this is the Rebel Alliance. Yeah. But
I didn't notice
an
this at
inverted one,
first.
and then there's an X underneath, and I don't know if that's like a reference to an X-wing.
It looks like that X-wing. You can see the engines and the cannons at the end there.
I thought they were two rifles crisscrossed with each other.
I don't know. That's a pretty distinctive X-wing. You can see the ion engines.
Yeah, you know, now that I'm looking at
I don't
it
know
closer,
if you Photoshop it, if you whipped it around 180 degrees, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to say
that it's an X-wing. So yeah,
but that's interesting. That's like flying an American flag upside down is a sign of distress.
Right. So okay, say that again, Ernie. So I mean, is this
when you fly a flag upside down, it's a sign of distress.
Usually. So this is, I mean, in this galaxy far, far away, you're not going to find a more iconic symbol than the Rebel Alliance Starbird. And so is this a sign of disrespect, or is it, as you're saying, is it sort of a marker of a moment in time? And maybe this isn't actually Cade's. Maybe this is a jacket that got handed down to him. Maybe he has a relative that served in the Alliance back in the day.
Well, you know what it reminds me of is that pirate skull and crossbones. And so maybe it's a pirate thing.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, sure does.
Because that's all I saw the first time I saw this until Joe Dallas pointed out to me, hey, Chucklehead, that's the Rebel Alliance symbol upside down. And I looked at it and said, well, what do you know? And because all I saw was skull and crossbones right out of the gate. So I assumed pirates.
The old pirate?
That's really cool, though, Jimmy. I think maybe that's what it's meant to evoke. They're using the Rebel Alliance logo and the X-Wing to evoke a skull and crossbones, because it does it does at first glance almost looks like a X-Wing helmet.
Mm-hmm. That too, right?
With the visor down.
Right.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, moving on. They're working now on the starship in the hangar. We don't get to see much of it. It's still covered in a tarp.
Are they going to enter the Boot to Eve pod race?
Yeah, that's what they're getting ready for. Kitster is on the other side of that window.
What is this movie about?
What is this movie about? It's about Cade. We've heard he's the uncle of the kid, Roan, and he needs to get the kid to safety. The kid's mother had been killed. The mother, we presume, is played by Amy Adams. So Cade has to deliver this kid who is force sensitive to, we're assuming, the Jedi or whatever the Jedi are at that point. So the movie will presumably end with Cade dropping off the kid to a Jedi Academy or some kind of Jedi stronghold or force user complex or whatever. So that's what we think the story is.
Well, the only Jedi left is this is 5 years later, right? So it's just it's Rey and whoever Rey is,
the broom
Strange.
kid,
maybe Finn,
and the broom kid, the broom kid,
and probably
it's Rey
Finn.
Rey and the broom kid. That's all
Rey,
we've got.
Broom boy, and I'll put Finn in that mix. I think they were clearly saying Finn is force sensitive in episode 9, and those the girl who was a stormtrooper. She said that, she felt something.
The one that ran off with
her
Lando.
name was, Janet. Yeah. Lando's daughter.
Yeah, Lando's the only one who came out of the sequel trilogy alive. Everybody else is dead.
Right.
So,
Lando and Wedge.
Yeah,
that's the reward. That's the reward. That's what they get for sitting out the first two films.
That girl is either Lando's daughter or the next Mrs. Calrissian.
One of the
next ex Mrs. Calrissian. All right, so we got the ship. They're working on it. Cade's working on it. All right, here's this water world planet, which, I mean, this is probably the most unique, maybe, environment that we've seen on a Star Wars planet in live action in a long time. Everything else has been so common, a lot of forests and woods and whatnot. This is definitely, they're taking a swing here with these geysers coming out. So it's kind of interesting.
I like the transportation that they have here. It's almost like a hang glider pulling a surfboard, and they're on the surfboard. I just don't. It looks like there's an engine on the thing they're riding on, but yet they're tethered to a flying thing that is pulling them. So, I guess it's a quick way to get around on whatever this water planet is, but it kind of reminds me of the pod racer in a way, where you had those external engines that were tethered to the
maybe
cockpit.
It's like a sailing vessel that also has a motor, so you can use both or one or the other.
Oh, it could be like a tugboat, like that thing flies around and it like tugs land vessels. Maybe it's giving. I don't know, but I like it. It looks. I could see Ralph McQuarrie drawing something like this.
Sure, that looks very McQuarrie-esque. More shots of the Starfighter.
Oh, we got a droid here.
Ooh.
Now, that's a different starship altogether that this droid is piloting. That droid looks kind of like a cross between the Jedi Temple archive droids and Lando Calrissian's girlfriend from the Solo movie.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah. Little Johnny Five in the face, maybe. All right.
Johnny Five?
Short circuit reference. Sorry.
Oh, is that a short circuit?
Short circuits.
Sorry, Ernie. I don't know short circuit.
Number 5 is alive.
Yes. Right. Okay. Now there's been a lot of speculation as to what we're looking at here. Some are saying troopers, some are saying droids. I'm kind of on the droid side of this.
No, I'm on the trooper
debate.
side.
Troopers.
Yeah. Those guys look more humanoid than machine.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling that they're robotic, but unsure.
I don't know how willing the galaxy is going to be to
have droid armies again.
Yeah, huge influxes of droid armies walking around after the events of the prequels.
Well, you know what? Think of it this way. They've already resurrected the Empire with the First Order. Maybe now they're going to resurrect the Trade Federation or the separatist droid army.
It's
right?
about time.
It rhymes.
Whatever is old becomes new again.
Right.
Well, I don't know. Is it Star Wars if there's not someone, a Sith Lord somewhere? And there's always supposed to be 2. I know that, I guess there was no, I think about it. So it's supposed to be 2 Sith, right? A master and apprentice.
Right, a master and apprentice.
Yeah.
Now, there are 2 actors that are associated with the film. They've been announced that are rumored to be playing villains, Matt Smith and Mia Goth. And there are rumors that they would be, that at least one of them, Mia Goth perhaps, might be, there's rumors about her being a Twi'lek, a Sith or a Dark Jedi Twi'lek, based on the, what's her name?
Darth Talon from
Talon
Star Wars Legacy.
Right.
The Dark Horse comic line. But
and
this
Smith
image
is
here,
sort of it's sort of a do-over, Ernie. I don't know if you knew that he was cast in The Rise of Skywalker, but never shot anything. He was reportedly going to be the villain.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And there was rumors that it was a Palpatine clone, that we would have still had a Palpatine, but he would have been a younger version. And then they decided, oh my God, the fans are hating this. Let's get the real Emperor back. And somehow he returns.
Yeah. Somehow.
All right. So
Dark Sith magic. Dark Sith magic, my friend.
Oh, we got a bridge
Secrets
jump
only
here.
The Sith knew. Just back to the idea of the villain, though. I think we'll be dealing with light side versus dark side, but maybe not necessarily Jedi versus Sith. The Force is always present, and it could always be tapped into via the dark side. So you're always going to have dark side users potentially out there. But I think the Sith are going to be dead and gone with the death of Palpatine. So they might have to come up with a new name or something. The new Sith or something. I don't know what they're going to call themselves. Yeah. So here we go, jumping
this looks
across
like Coruscant.
a bridge.
It may not be, but it looks kind of has that urban vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Definitely. And I'm thinking, based on this looks like Roan leaping over to Cade.
Just barely making it, too, by the way.
Yeah. This doesn't necessarily look like a Jedi jump.
Well, it's still pretty impressive.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying I could do it, but yeah.
I don't think he makes it. I think it's Wilhelm scream all the way down.
That's a very short movie.
Yeah.
Ernie, did you ever experiment with trying to put the Wilhelm scream into Ready Player One or anything like that? That just seems like, how would you do that? he then emitted a Wilhelm scream.
It would have been great, but no.
Kind of hard to pull off.
All right, now we see, now the ship is, it looks like it's about to be revealed. It kind of is, with the titles going over it.
Great new logo.
Old school.
Yeah. We were complaining about we were complaining about the placeholder logo that they've been using for the better part of the last year. This one pops much more and has a more distinct feel to it, even though we're familiar with it, obviously. It's the original take on the Star Wars logo, but never used before outside of early crew
I don't
merch.
know, man. This is unlike any other Star Wars movie they've ever made. Right?
You're right.
It's not. Yeah. It's not a known, like Rogue One, you knew what the story was, even though you didn't know what the characters were. It was like a known part of Star Wars lore in a known time.
Right.
Solo as well. Like this is like an uncharted time after like the 9-part Skywalker saga, when the galaxy should be at peace, right? With the Sith eradicated, everybody had united. Like, how much trouble could they get in 5 years? After they destroyed Palpatine forever.
Well, here's what I'm glad about this is that we don't see this necessarily being a galactic struggle at this point. This sounds like this is going to be a more personal story dealing with a family. Now, it's obviously going to lead, I think, to something much larger in scale. But I think we need a period of time where they're not going from one massive crisis, like you said, 5 years later, like how much trouble could you possibly find yourselves? So it might be nice to sort of set the pieces on the chessboard in this film that then will carry us into perhaps the next trilogy, which is the rumored Simon Kinberg trilogy.
You know what else is a small contained story about a family? It's set in Star Wars. Ewoks, The Battle for Endor.
It is.
There's Star
more like
Wars
Caravan of Suck.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the first peek. Now, we're calling this a trailer. It is not been released officially by Lucasfilm. And so this is really just a sneak peek. They've been scouring the internet, trying to, get rid of it. So, the question is that about creating a lot of demand for it, or was it just too confusing because they had the big Ahsoka trailer that was also released and that was released officially, and you're dealing with two very separate periods of time on the timeline? I don't know. It just seems like maybe they felt that they had at this point to show something, but they didn't want to commit to the extent of releasing it out there and stealing the thunder from Ahsoka. It's the only thing I can think of.
But I'm sure they'll probably put it before like a fall movie coming out, or when do you think they'll release it?
I don't think they will release this. If you remember,
I thought you meant the film.
There was a trailer, a first look that was for Mando and Grogu, and that never got released. That was the one they showed over in Celebration Japan? Was it?
Okay.
So I don't know that they'll ever release this. I don't know that this offers enough meat on the bone.
Yeah, there's not really any story. You don't know what the stakes are or anything. But it's interesting. Like, that's a tall order. They must have wanted to tell a story in that time frame. It's Uncharted. They could do whatever they want and create it. I think that would be fun for a filmmaker, just to create their own standalone story in the Star Wars universe, and they can draw on everything. But like, will Rey be in this movie? Because Rey's clearly around, right? 5 years.
We're thinking at the end of the film that they'll deliver the kid to her, and that will sort of reset the whole Star Wars saga for whatever the next trilogy is going to be. And this kid will play a role in it.
And then she'll wake up with a nightmare one night that this kid's going to turn bad. And so she marches to his hut.
Except she's successful and she actually can kill him in his sleep. And
Ryan Gosling could just let the kid fall right there in the trailer.
Yeah, and that's it.
Save a whole lot of trouble.
Right? Roll credits. The kid's dead. Roll credits.
Kylo Ren repeat. We don't need it.
Exactly.
Well,
we got a lot of time to speculate about that film. I'm sure we'll be getting some more information about it relatively soon. I think they will release this one. Maybe they'll retool it a little bit. Maybe make a bigger deal about Ryan Gosling being in it. Because
he's been killing it, man. I thought he was great in Blade Runner 2049. Was fantastic, and he was great in my buddy Andy Weir's movie, Project Hail Mary. Was fantastic too.
That was a little bit of a hit. Yeah,
and now he gets to be in Star Wars, and he's great. He's got a Han Solo more than any other actor working now. I feel like he's got the Han Solo kind of devil may care Harrison Ford vibe. So I think he fits right into Star Wars. It could be good.
Yeah. And I think Star Wars is at a place where even though it's had a history of making stars, creating stars, celebrities and that sort of thing, that it's big enough now. It's come into its own, I think, after 50 years that it can withstand having a big star anchor it. Right. And it may need that. In our current environment, to sort of break through. Because nostalgia, Ernie is someone you've got a PhD in nostalgia,
a professor.
Probably more than anybody. But you probably know nostalgia alone is not enough. You got to have more to it than that.
We got to have story and heart and characters, and you got to care about the new stuff as well as the old stuff. You can't just push that was what I was worried about with Rogue One, was that the star of that movie was just going to be Star Wars. But it turned out there were amazing characters. It turned out we got Cassian Andor, one of the greatest characters in the history of Star Wars. And that whole series. That's what I love about that. That movie was a disaster. It got taken away, but then it got turned into one of the best pieces of Star Wars storytelling ever. Sometimes a disaster can turn into something beautiful. You ever go back and look at those Rogue One trailers that we first got, with full of shots that are not in the movie?
Oh yeah,
they reshot that whole movie.
Yeah.
And made it into something fantastic. Is it true that they're doing a new cut of Rogue One with Andor continuity?
No.
Stuff?
No.
Is that not true? Is that bullshit?
I mean, there might be some fan edits going on out there, but there's not any.
It's not an official one that they were going to. No. That would be.
No. Unless you know something we don't.
That was a lie. I was told. You guys
possible.
Would know if that was true. I heard it, but that it could have just been fan lies. Sometimes fans just make up lies and spread them around. I know, right? Just to get us worked up.
Well, too bad there's not a podcast that chases down all that stuff and debunks or proves them. Yeah, it is, and it's maddening to be in that position sometimes.
That's your
absolutely maddening, vexing even.
Yeah. But Ernie, dude, you have just been awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Really, for
My pleasure.
For the whole show. I think you join a very small elite number of guests who have hung with us for the entire show, and boy, oh boy, we're grateful and really had a great time tonight, and it was fun to really get your first blush reactions to the next Star Wars film. It was pretty cool that we were here for your first viewing of that illegal video.
So before we let you go,
thank you guys.
We talked about I'm surprised you haven't seen it too. I'm glad you didn't, because we wanted to be the ones to show it to you. But we've asked you about a follow-up to Fanboys. The question that I keep getting asked by people who knew I was going to talk to you, they said, ask Ernie if there's going to be a Ready Player 3.
Oh, well, there might be stories that take place after Ready Player 2 that I write down the road, but I always envisioned it as Ready Player 1, Ready Player 2, and then a prequel set before Ready Player 1. So that's the next thing I write in the Ready Player 1 universe will be that prequel set before Ready Player 1.
Got it. Now, wasn't there some fanfic prequel that was actually published then with one of the editions of Ready Player 1?
Oh yeah, Andy Weir, the author of The Martian and Project Hail Mary, is a friend of mine, and he wrote his own fan fiction origin for the character Sorrento, which I loved and was really flattered by because I love The Martian, and so yeah, I made it canon in the Ready Player 1 universe. But Andy and I have became friends after that, and he's killing it, man. I'm so proud of him. He's 2 for 2 with
no doubt
The Martian, and now Project Hail Mary. He's got a astronauts trapped in space, high stakes franchise thing is going. He's going to have to think about how to screw over this next astronaut real bad. Trap him on Pluto. But I appreciate you guys having me on. It's always a blast to geek out and talk Star Wars with you guys. Good. Anytime if you guys ever have to do a telethon where you got to do this for 48 hours in a row, I'm your guy.
We're gonna call you up, dude.
I'm good. I'm
definitely. Well, yeah, thank you, Ernie, and best of luck out in Philadelphia. There's a big Star Wars museum exhibit that's going to be launching in Philadelphia in February called Star Wars The Exhibition, celebrating 50 years of Star Wars. It's supposed to be like the biggest museum exhibit to feature props, wardrobe, etc. So me and Jason might come knocking at your door and drag you out of the house to go see that thing when it opens next year.
We'll get cheesesteaks.
Yeah, definitely.
Cheesesteaks. I found out there's a town out here, New Hope, Pennsylvania, has a Star Wars festival every year.
Interesting.
New Hope, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. Send us the link.
Town they have I will.
Maybe
you can help promote it.
Yeah,
I'm going to take the Mandalorian next year. I'm going to take the Mandalorian to New Hope. Help those people celebrate. I think they do up May the 4th every year in New Hope. So they deserve some love. But thanks, fellas. Have a good night. And I'll catch you next time.
Take care, buddy.
Well, thank you so much, Ernie. This has been a blast. Great to get caught up with you.
Pleasure.
And great to walk down memory lane and listen to all those references and everything. It was just great. Much appreciated.
You got it.
Thank you, my friend.
Pleasure, fellas.
All right. Take care.
All right, later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
All right. The great Ernest Cline. And not much more to say after that, really. That's a show right there.
That's a show.
Chewie, get us out of here!
All right, that's going to wrap things up for us here this week on Rebel Force Radio. Hope you enjoyed it. There's more Starfighter news, stuff we didn't get to. We'll get to it in due course. As Jimmy said, we got a long time to digest all of this stuff and wade through it, but we just couldn't pass up the opportunity when we had Ernie Cline on the show to get his take on it. So hope you enjoyed that walkthrough. Big thanks to Ernie for hanging out with us for this very special episode of Rebel Force Radio. Speaking of special episodes of Rebel Force Radio, we've got another special one coming up next week.
Yeah, I can't wait for this. 20 years of Star Wars podcasting. It's the anniversary from when Jason released his very first Star Wars podcast, September 1st, 2006. We're going to be acknowledging that great date in podcasting history and in Star Wars history by having a live RFR show on YouTube. Next Tuesday, we'll be taking your calls. What we want to do is get your memories or stories or share some of our stories, behind the scenes tales, what have you, about everything that's gone down in the last 20 years of our Star Wars podcasting adventures. It should be amazing. We're going to have the phone lines open all night. Tyler will be screening your calls. We want to hear from you. Me and Jason, we could have booked a bunch of all-stars to join us on the show and reminisce over the years, but we thought the wisest thing to do in this situation would be to turn it over to you guys and have a very interactive live stream, live podcast, RFR, where you guys can call in and reminisce with us over the last 20 years of all of our Star Wars podcasting, from the Forcecast till now, Rebel Force Radio, and everything we've done together over the years, all the people we've met, all the places we've been to. Let's talk about all of it, including your favorite moments from Rebel Force Radio and our old podcast, the Forcecast. Call in and let's talk about the past 20 years.
And if you got questions that you've always wanted to ask me or Jim, maybe some behind-the-scenes stuff, I'm up for that as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and please, join us live next week for a very special Rebel Force Radio. You can catch that on YouTube. We also have a whole archive of previous episodes and highlights and clips and all that and more over on our YouTube channel. So please subscribe, like, and comment today. We're also on the socials. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, over on X. We're also on got our website at rebelforceradio.com. So please keep listening, keep recommending this podcast to your friends, your family, the Star Wars fan in your life. If your podcatcher of choice allows you to do so, please subscribe and leave a review. We just want a very simple rule, please.
Make them good.
All right, we will see you next week for a very special live Rebel Force Radio. Until then, for RFR, I'm Jason.
And I'm Jimmy Mack.
And remember,
the Force will be with you, always.
Caravan of Courage. They should have called it Caravan of Suck.